Longer than planned to do this live stream. I just ended up having a really late dinner, and of course, the ripple effect of that was that I just didn't get around to starting this half an hour ago, but I should have. But we're gonna just do another chill stream. I really enjoyed how the last one went. My phone has just buzzed. Oh, it's just telling me that I have now started doing a live stream. So yeah, we'll just kind of like chill for a little bit. I've got nothing too crazy planned for this, hence it being a chill stream. But I thought, yeah, we'll maybe have like a little chat about the dating industry in general, and then just fill you in again with the Black Friday offer that I've got going on as well. So yeah, we'll just kind of wait until more people come online. It's really annoying because I'd like to probably play some music or something in the background, but I just don't want to get copyrighted for anything, which would be really, really frustrating if that was the case. Um, so we shall wait until people start joining. I can see one person's now watching. Welcome, whoever you are. Oh, that's what I'm forgetting as well. Headphones. Headphones. Oh. There we go. I reckon the audio should come out a bit better now as well. Yeah, that should be better. In fact, I can do a check. Let's just say there's going to be an echo now. Echo, echo, echo. Yeah, okay. All right, cool. No, that's much better. That is much better. So I can pop that back on here. So hopefully, yeah, you'll be able to hear me now. There we go. Right, I can see. Wow, okay, suddenly that's taken off. I've got a few more people joining. You probably saw my most ridiculous thumbnail that I've ever probably taken and made on my channel. Not that my thumbnails are that creative, but I was just like, yeah, I just need to put something ridiculous, I think. But yeah, we've got 10 people on the stream, so yeah, welcome. Welcome to just sitting and chilling with me, just to chat maybe about the dating industry, and I suppose also just talking about my Black Friday offer as well going on. I've had a few people come forward, which has been really, really great. I've been quite humbled by that. So it's certainly caught people's attention. They like the price that it's going for. So no, welcome guys. So definitely feel free to say hello as well. I think I did turn the chat on as well, didn't I? Yeah, welcome to the live chat. Yeah, I did turn the chat on. That'd be hilarious. I'd be sitting here looking, hoping like someone would leave me a comment. And I've just got the chat completely off. And I'm just like pondering, going like, there's all these people watching and just no one is messaging at all. That would have been mildly hilarious and entertaining at the same time. But yeah, welcome, welcome to the stream. The chill stream is what it is, where no music is allowed to be played for copyright infringement purposes, which would be funny. Oh, and now I'm getting like private messages as well. No, I don't know what that's going on about. But say hello. If you're feeling brave, definitely don't be shy. Like I say, it's just going to be a chill stream. I've got nothing too planned for this, but yeah, it'd be cool just to chat about something to do with like the dating industry, the pickup industry. If it helps give more context, I've worked in this industry for the last 17 years. I've pretty much worked with the majority of dating coaches over what I would consider like the last like five, six, seven generations of coaches in the industry. Welcome, Tambirto. Tambirto. I feel like I'm extending this as I'm trying to attempt it. Tambitopu. Welcome. I'm just going to call you Tan if that's all right. It's probably just easier calling you Tan. How's your day going? Yeah, it's going good. I said that I was going to do this live stream about half an hour ago. So I've sort of started it late. So it's a bit later for me in the evening, but I really wanted to just do another chill stream. I don't know if you had participated in one of my streams a week or so ago, but yeah, it was really, really cool. I got chatting to some really, really cool people who've been in the industry or who are aware of it or whatever. And we were discussing some really good questions about like anxiety and just the dating industry in general and just things about, based around like attraction building and stuff. So yeah, it was good fun. It was really good fun. What do I talk about? So I'm a life coach, and I've kind of worked in the dating industry behind the scenes for like the last 17 years. So it's been really, really cool helping people, particularly with like their social anxiety or building confidence. I wouldn't count myself as a dating coach. I think there are far more qualified people out there for it, but I certainly enjoy helping people with building their social anxiety and using the concept of cold approaching as the technique to help people with fast tracking that confidence. And in case you've not heard what cold approaching is, it's essentially just the ability to talk to a stranger in any sort of situation. So you feel anxious very often. How do I stop it? Well, when you say that you feel anxious very often, at what moments do you feel your anxiety, because it's also just a part of life to be anxious with stuff, especially if it's you doing things that you don't have either much experience in or you just haven't done enough of, which is exactly the same thing with me saying that, I suppose. But yeah, when you lack experience, or maybe a better way to say it is that if you uh have a fear of like the unknown or the fear of rejection or even like the fear of success or something or fear of failure, it's very easy to just feel anxious over a lot of things. So yeah, it depends what causes that anxiety. And welcome person number two who's watching the live stream. It's a very chilled stream today. See what you're gonna say. Ah, dear me. I have a thing called a hypersympathetic nervous system, so I get stressed and anxious in social situations. Okay. Um, so do you tend to do any like breathing exercises when you're in those situations? Have you got anything, any kind of like technique or exercise that you're already integrating to try and calm your sympathetic nervous system when it does get stressed? I think I've got something in my eye. Besides my eyeball. Hang on. Bloody eyelashes. I breathe, or you have a cigarette. Okay, well, a cigarette is gonna be um, yeah. I mean, definitely, I probably wouldn't have a cigarette because what you're doing is you're training yourself to every time you feel stressed, the only way that to calm it is to have a cigarette. So uh, that's not something that I would probably encourage. I'm sure if you probably even spoke to like a doctor, they'd say the same thing as well. But um, we're we are people essentially of habit and behavior, and I'm very much in the understanding of like positive and negative reinforcement. So if you keep smoking every time you're stressed, you're going to create the association of that smoking is the only cure for your anxiety. So I probably would just be aware of that. That if you're only having your cigarettes when you're smoking, if you're only having your cigarettes when you're getting anxious, I would just be very aware of that, because if the anxiety is the trigger, then it might be questionable on how frequently then are you having a cigarette to calm your anxiety. When I smoke cigarettes, my mind literally stops thinking. I go blank. Okay, so we've kind of got then like a chronological order of things happening here. So you get anxious, so you have a cigarette, and then your mind goes completely blank by stopping its thinking process. I mean, there's nothing that you're telling me in that suggests that it's going to be beneficial for you. Out of curiosity, are you on any sort of like anxiety medication or anything just to help you to stay relaxed, or are you doing anything that allows you to even practice socializing with people in a sort of safe and comfortable way that also isn't inducing the anxiety? And I'd also be curious to know, have you ever been in a social situation that has triggered your anxiety, but you haven't needed a cigarette for it? Am I dating anyone at the moment? No, I've just come out of a relationship with a Polish girl, so I was sort of with her for about 6, 7 months. So now I'm putting myself back out there again, but because of just how work is at the moment, and with Christmas and stuff coming up, I'm not going to worry too much about it until probably the new year. I know it's crazy excited, right? But it's yeah, it's just the timing of the year. I've also just realised it's a new person who's actually messaged. Apologies. Yeah, welcome to the live stream, porn star. I use weed very frequently. When I get high, anxiety hits me harder. Yeah, I would say you've got some bad habits there. I mean, I'm not going to say to just go cold turkey on them. You're going to need to wean yourself off of them. I had a guy, must have been at the start of the year, who wanted coaching with me, and he would just constantly be having weed to help him with his anxiety. But the reality is and I actually had to get it double checked, because I do something called integral eye movement therapy, and um, I'm at least sort of like insured and covered and protected if ever there were to be an issue. Fortunately, touch wood, there has never been an issue, but I actually got it checked if I could work with him or not. And basically, they said that you'd have to go to a doctor and get the approval and get like a doctor's note to say that he would be okay to be put into a high social situation, which might trigger the anxiety. And the last thing you want is to cause something serious like a panic attack, or having some like major freak out, which is a byproduct of having any kind of drug that you probably shouldn't be having unless it's medicated and it's been prescribed. Oh, excuse me. So to be honest, Tan, I probably wouldn't be having that sort of thing. I don't think that's going to be doing you any benefits. That's just gonna, in a way, it's probably a form of escapism. It's gonna just like cover up the issue. It's not gonna like get rid of it. It's just literally just gonna keep covering it over with stuff whilst it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So you're better to certainly look at much more healthy methods than relying on those things. And plus, I would imagine it must be very expensive if you're buying something like that on a regular basis. I mean, I don't know how much you're spending and how much you're having, but that isn't going to be a cheap lifestyle to have, and that could be money that you could be put into much better experiences in your life as well. And welcome other people. I can say I've got 4 people on the live stream now. It's a very chilled stream, this. So we're just kind of talking about either all things anxiety based, anything to do with like the dating or pickup industry, or I'm going to be just going over my Black Friday offers. I've had a few people come forward and do the coaching because I'm not doing anything like during the end of this year. It's for next year. The offers that I've got, it's essentially like either half price off of one of my coaching for the 7 day, or I'm offering about 20% off of my new service that I've started. What's this say? I'm a very emotional person, so in a social situation, I always observe everyone's micro facial expression, and I get what they feel, and my head always replays everything. So I'm always thinking. That's quite an overthinking situation, um, or an overthinking statement, I should say, that you're making there. Um, Yeah, I think certain questions that I'd want to ask you, I would say aren't really for the live stream. Because I think some of the questions that I'd want to ask you about your situation, I would probably deem them more private, and the sort of thing that I'd also be getting you to discuss things with your doctor as well. So, I'm also, yeah, I can imagine that. I can totally imagine that. Because I've had clients who they get nervous over like the most ridiculous thing, and then when we've gone out together, it's just been like taking like the most incremental, tiny step to just working on getting them comfortable being in public. Like I had one client during the summer who the for the few days that he'd booked me for the coaching, he just couldn't hold eye contact with people. He wanted to have conversations and stuff, and I pointed out to him like, if you can't hold eye contact with strangers, how are you going to be comfortable going over and stopping them and having a conversation? Now, and we'd sort of spent literally a couple of days just walking up and down streets and just getting him to practice holding eye contact and smiling at people just to feel more comfortable, and getting him to realize like that he was still alive after walking around and just, gazing for like 1 second or 2 seconds and stuff. And then eventually it got to like 3, 4 seconds, and there were a couple of women that then, were holding the gaze back, and I then sort of trained him to go over and just give him a compliment. So we at least got to there by the end of our time together. But yeah, you've got to take like baby steps with it. But I remember, yeah, he would really sort of like freak out. He'd start doing this like fidget thing with his hand, like touching his head. He'd be like looking all over the place. He would like pace up and down on the spot as well. So I can absolutely understand, yeah, where you're coming from when with the sympathetic nervous system, and also that's part of like the whole fight and flight response as well. So I mean, if you sort of have those issues with fight or flight, and it causes some emotional trigger within you, yeah, you definitely have my sympathies with that, or the sympathetic with it. But no, rest assured that there are ways to manage it, whether it be through breathing exercises. I would actually recommend looking at the Wim Hof method if you've not heard of that. So it's a guy called Wim Hof, or also goes by, I think his other name is like the Iceman or something. Um, Really, really great stuff, at least for me. Definitely doing either like mindfulness meditations, or I know there are other breathing exercises like pranayama and stuff out there. But for me, I quite like doing the Wim Hof method. And if you really want to regulate your sympathetic nervous system and just reset the adrenaline that might be kicking in when you get stressed, it's one to definitely check out. And also, believe it or not, going to the gym as well, doing weight weight workout, so and like calisthenics of sorts can also really help with just managing that anxiety in your body as well, because it just helps with like the breathing and better blood flow all around your body. So I would have a look at that. Mr. Tommy Gunn, welcome, my friend. I hope you're well. Thank you for joining the chill stream. So what's your message? Hi, I've grafted away on my wardrobe over the last year. All charity shop clobber, leveled up and getting more attention from the femmes. I love that. That is brilliant. In fact, it's amazing just the difference that can be made on first impressions with people when you do have a better dress sense. So, like even for me, I've done a little bit of a shop during. I keep looking at the screen there, but I've actually done a little bit of a shop for Black Friday as well. The fact that a lot of places were doing like a third off of their clothes. I actually really like a lot of French Connection stuff. I only really, it sounds hilarious, but I only really just discovered them and had a look at their bits and pieces, and I ordered like a handful of stuff. Absolutely love them. Even though I've well, I've actually, I've even though I'm like 38, I've got such a, I wouldn't say a small frame, but I somehow seem to be like extra smalls or smalls with so many men's clothes. I mean, I know I'm only 5'8", but it's just like absolutely ridiculous with that. So I don't know what that is that has been put on. So I'm going to just remove that message because I don't know if people are suddenly starting to quote like biblical stuff. We're going to give that a miss. But no, going shopping for clothes, I think makes really big difference on first impressions. But am I seeing anyone right now? No, not at the moment. No, like I say, I've just come out of dating a Polish girl for about 6, 7 months. So for me at the moment, I'm just kind of taking it easy. I'm being just a little bit lazy with it. I mean, work at the moment, besides this week, because I should have had coaching this week. A guy had to reschedule now to the new year because he couldn't get time off of work, which it is what it is. I would have preferred to have been coaching, but there you go. So I've just had a bit more of a chilled week. But I mean, for the rest of the time up until Christmas, I'm not really going to have any time to go on many dates, if any at all. And nothing's really going to be open between that stretch of after Christmas up until New Year. So I'm just waiting to like probably date again now until the New Year. If that's what you if that's what you're asking me, if that's what you're why you're being nosy with my dating life, that just because of the time now with how many weeks we got left until New Year, yeah, it's just kind of limited really, and I'm okay with that. See what other people are saying as well. I can see we've got 5 people on the stream. Uh, I think did I answer everything there on for you, Mr. Tommy? I'm not sure. Do you ever feel like how you try to understand people, but no one tries to understand you, and it makes you feel sad? To be honest, I get it a lot. So like one of my uh, well, I guess with working as a life coach, my job has always been to just kind of like help other people. And in fact, even growing up, I've always been that kind of person who everyone's come to it for advice. Everyone's kind of like shared their secrets with me. Everyone's kind of like shared their thoughts and their emotions and their problems and stuff. And in a way, it's always kind of been like a one-way thing. Like I've always had people come to me, but I've not really been able to open up and go to other people. And for a long while, yeah, that did kind of bother me. And even I'd be lying if I said these days I have moments where, yeah, it does, that thought comes up. It's like, oh, no one shows any interest in my problems, or no one wants to listen to me or anything. But I'm very lucky that I know how to regulate my emotions. And I would say that I'm pretty resilient as well. I've just had a lot of things happen in my life, and I've kind of come to an understanding of just how to, I think, challenge my beliefs or rationalize my thoughts. So it kind of snaps me out of those sort of like negative thoughts. And I find if I'm constantly helping other people anyway, you know, like I'm consistently regulating all those positive thoughts. Like if I'm telling someone like you can do it, I believe in you and stuff, then it's kind of difficult to think about anything negative. And and you've got to be like your own best friend as well. Like you've got to catch yourself having these negative thoughts or spirals, and then you've got to say to yourself, like, why am I thinking like that? Why am I torturing myself? Why allow that to happen? I need to look after myself, right? What can I do? What can I say to make me feel better? Do I need to watch like a comedy on TV? Do I need to sit and go on the PlayStation and just have some level of escapism for a little bit of time? Do I need to actually talk to myself out of a predicament that I'm in and just rationalize it? Because all of our thoughts are just up in our head. And, even when I'm speaking with clients, I'll talk about how, our emotions are a bit like clouds. I know it sounds woo-woo, but that our emotions are like clouds and they literally just come and go. Clouds aren't still. They're just constantly moving. Sometimes if the wind is strong, it moves quickly. Sometimes it just takes a while, and depending on the humidity and the stress of a situation, sometimes those clouds are pretty big and sometimes they're just really small and manageable. But they're always moving. They're always moving. So you have to kind of expect that, like, whatever you're feeling now, just remember that it is going to pass. It's not going to stay there forever. But you can do things where you can try and encourage it to move quicker rather than just trying to wait it out. But I can absolutely sympathize there with you, Tan. But you're not the only one. Everyone feels like that. A lot of people feel like that. There really is kind of like this myth of like, oh, it's only us who's suffering. But I can assure you, if you were to be in a room with like hundreds of other people, or even when you're out of the house, I can promise you, like every single person that you see has got some kind of like stress or some kind of like anxiety inducing situation going on that is just not making their life easy. And there are people out there who do a better job at hiding it than others. So it's difficult. And I think even with like social media, you look at like people taking photos of themselves on holiday and stuff, and you can compare yourself to them. And even that really is just unhealthy. And I don't believe anything that I see on social media these days. I just think it's anything like Instagram, for example. I think it's just all fake. It's all smoke and mirrors. When you work behind the scenes with like coaches and stuff a lot, and you just see photo shoots everywhere, or if I'm filming things, it's amazing how clips can be made, and it makes them look good, and it makes you feel bad, and you feel guilty about your life and stuff. So no, but honestly, don't worry. And yeah, as much as I know you might be feeling low, don't. Everyone feels the exact same way. Everyone's in the exact same boat. What's my opinion on dating apps? I think, to be honest, to much of people's surprise, I think they're okay. I probably wouldn't be completely reliant on them, but you do have to have good photos, I feel, if you want to get the best out of using dating apps. If you don't have good photos, and then you're just sitting and people sit there and they swipe and they don't get like a single match, and then they wonder why, it could be that as a reason. But if someone's got really good photos and they are still struggling, then yeah, then I would certainly look at other alternatives. And I really like the cold approaching side of things. I think it's great. It can be kind of scary to start off with, but when you get that momentum and you can speak to people and socialize, it's a whole different ball game. It's amazing how quickly you can meet someone special, if you just have that like 12 seconds of courage to go and say hello. When I talk to people, I feel like they're performing before me. They perform, build a character, and want to be validated, to be seen. Yeah, I mean that's. I mean, you're talking about like masks, and I think it's the ego that I don't know if it was Freud. I know there is a psychologist who I think has brought it up, but that is everyone. Everyone has a mask when they are out and about. They have a different character when they're at home. They have a different character when they're socializing with either friends or family or work colleagues and stuff. It's really just a part of life with it. Um, so something else that I can add there. When I talk to people, I feel like they're performing before me. They perform, build a character, and want to be validated. Yeah, I'd also be wary as well that you might be experiencing depersonalization and derealization, which is alternative forms of like, well, not multiple personality disorder, but it's in that umbrella category. Because I've known people who also feel very disconnected to people, and and then they've sort of said that like it's like they feel like either like a robot, or they just feel very detached from reality, and they're just like watching everything go by, and they don't feel in control of their body either. They just feel like they're just like watching from the sidelines. Um, but yeah, definitely stuff to speak to a doctor about if it's things that you feel like are really stressing you out. But yeah, you've certainly got some. I dare say some. In fact, I'll call it out. You've got some bad habits there with like the smoking of sorts. It'd probably be worth you cutting them out. They have a protagonist feeling. What like they are like the main character of a story kind of thing. Yeah, I mean that's yeah, it sounds like you might be having like derealization there. Also, I don't, I hopefully that answered your question, porn star as well. Welcome to the live stream, new people, or the chill stream, we're calling it. Oh, oh, that feels better. Let's see what people are saying. I think I've caught up with messages. I don't think I've I don't think I've missed anything there. Oh, there you go. Do you mind if I ask you what's your weapon? I mean, how's your thought process? Does it think emotionally first or logically? Well, most people, when they're reactive, usually it's going to be emotional. I mean, I would say, yeah, it's the same for me. I mean, I'm a very empathic person. So I mean, I can get very emotionally caught up in things. I sympathize with people a lot. It's very easy for me to sort of feel what other people are feeling. But I do then have to catch myself. Evening, Kit Kat. It's good to see you again on this stream. But I do, if at the moment I start feeling whatever feelings, I then just go straight into a logical mindset. Now, if I'm usually coaching with people, then I would say it's probably, excuse me, it's probably the other way round. I'm probably already in more of a logical mindset than an emotional one because I'm rationally trying to understand another person's problems. So it's then important for me um, to be a bit more calculated on the information. Um, if that makes sense. Your question's quite a difficult one. I mean, it might be better if you can give like an example of like a situation, and then I can probably give a better example of that. I mean, otherwise it probably sounds a bit too wishy-washy from me with my thought. But yeah, you'd have to give me like a proper an actual example of something. Oh, up to 7 people now. Nice. Welcome new people to the chill stream. Oh, 8 people. Very nice. I don't know if you can hear like the weird clicking in the background. It's only just my radiator that's making a noise. Actually, I always wear my glasses during the stream. Not that I really need it, although I do use it when I'm looking at screens. Let's try it without it. Yeah, there we go. It's a bit better. By all means, other people who are watching the stream, feel free to jump in and say hi as well. It's a pretty laid back stream. Haven't missed too much. We've just been discussing stuff based around anxiety, and just been chatting to Tan about some things that he's got going on. Oh, I went to the gym today as well. My back's aching. What's your mental skill like pattern recognition or high emotional intelligence speed? Some people connect dots faster. I'm going to be honest that I don't know what that means. I think that's too complicated of a question or statement, and I need my glasses on. There you go. That lasted a whole minute with that. What's your mental skill? I don't know what that means. Like pattern recognition or high emotional intelligence. I mean, I would say just from my experience of being in the industry for so long. I mean, I can see patterns of behavior with people in like social dynamics. So just like how people communicate with each other and socialize. So it's quite easy for me to identify an issue with a guy who's got social anxiety when we go out, and get him to fix like minor things. So like an easy example is if I see how they like try and go and approach people, and their eyes are all over the place, or they do this old school weird pickup approach where they do this big massive circle going around, then absolutely I'll recognize that same behavior in people instantly, and I'll say, right, we're simplifying this, we're going to make it a lot more natural and more authentic. And then I give them an exercise that fixes it in literally just like one or two approaches, and then that's it. um, but I mean, it's just practice from experience from 17 years. So Mr. Tommy, what have you put? Dating apps are soul destroying garbage, in my opinion. You can get much better return on your time and energy if you bite the bullet and shoot your shot out and about. 100% seek out as much rejection as possible. 100% agree. 100% agree. I don't think people should be reliant on dating apps. It's one thing to have it running in the background. If, let's say, and I've met guys whose lives are just way too busy that they can't afford to be running around on the street all day long. So it's kind of like fair enough. But I do genuinely believe like the best alternatives, if you can't be practicing cold approaching on the street, then you've got to be going to networking events. You've got to be doing things where you can take up a hobby or you've got interests in things. And you're also better to at least learn the skill of cold approaching so you can apply it into your busy life. So at least if you're going to the gym, if you're going to work, if you're going to go shopping for food, if you see someone, then yeah, you can kind of muster up that 12 seconds of courage and you can take action and at least give it a try. So you aren't missing any opportunities because yeah, there's just so many opportunities around and I don't know if I said to you guys either, but like the client that I'd worked with a week ago on Sunday, actually, yeah, I did a live stream on it. That he had a lot of anxiety. We went out, he did about 12, 13 approaches in the 4 hours that we were working together. He got two numbers. One of them, he then went on a date with her 2 nights later, and then went back to hers. And she was only in London for like 5 days because she was American and she was kind of doing like this touristy thing for Christmas through Europe. And it was just, it was amazing just that they had this like whirlwind romantic experience. And that all happened just from going over and saying hi. And I watched the interaction. Hell, I mean, I had my microphone equipment on him, and I was listening in to through my receiver, and it really wasn't the most spectacular of conversations, but it just shows that you can have like still a pretty crappy or rubbish conversation, but you know what? Women will absolutely respect you for going over and shooting your shot and just taking a chance with it. And he got a result within days, as opposed to having to like build up some like massive rapport through a dating app and hoping that someone likes him in the photos and stuff as well. You've got to remember that it's about how these women feel, not what they're essentially thinking. And when you're looking at pictures in the apps, you're not creating an emotional spike. You're not creating or showing off your vibe to them, which is going to be the thing that gets them to go, oh yeah, I want to go on a date with this person. Oh yeah, I really like him. I'm attracted to him. You just don't get that same feeling through dating apps. So yeah, I definitely I agree. Half your takes come from chatting on a bus. That's brilliant. Fair play to you if that's your USP for meeting women on buses. That's absolutely brilliant. The girl that I was dating just recently, that I came out of my sort of like 6, 7 month relationship with, um, she well, she's Polish, but I met her outside of outside the gym, of all places. So yeah, it's sometimes it's more about just giving someone a good experience in the moment when you're speaking to them and having that vibe, than having to try and like figure out where's like the best place to approach, or having to like rely on dating apps. So yeah, it's good. I appreciate that, Stacks. Yeah, I sort of shaved it during the summer, so I think it looks much better. To be honest, I certainly got quite self-conscious about the fact that I had this sort of big, massive bald patch on the crown area, and I just decided I needed to do something about it. So I'm pretty pleased with, yeah, just how it came out. Um, Tam, what did you put? So what's your biggest weakness? I guess maybe it's easy to. I don't know what that means, my friend. Your questions are they're they're too complex. I would say that you're potentially going on the assumption that I know what you might be talking about. I would say simplify your questions, because I don't think anyone would know what that means. Like, what do you mean by my biggest weakness? Uh, what what in like my biggest weakness in having conversations with people? Yeah, you'd have to elaborate. Dean, welcome to the channel. I think this is the first time I've seen your name pop up, so welcome to the chill stream. So hi Dan, where do you recommend for photo locations for dating apps in London? I prefer night shoots, but everyone complains about the poor lighting. I think it depends if you're going for like an arty photo or not. I mean, the thing with like London, I mean, there's so many landmarks to go, but you don't want to just have random landmarks in the background. Like you could be, I don't know, standing on like Westminster Bridge and have Big Ben in the background. You could be like looking out at the views and stuff, which can look quite cool, especially if you can get a really fancy professional shot done. But you want something that in a way portrays your personality. So like in the new year, I'm going to get some photos done. I actually want to get some professional photos made for not just really my dating profiles. It's more for marketing and for work purposes. And I'd also like to completely overhaul my website and rebrand it and make it look a lot more presentable. But I would probably have like photos of me, sitting either in a coffee shop or outside of a coffee shop with like my laptop there and have like a photo looking like I'm working hard. I really like the gym, so maybe I might get some like photos, like proper decent photos of like training in the gym or something. Um, because I think even for what I help people with an anxiety, I do tend to encourage them to do fitness stuff as well. Um, I guess like for me, it would make sense to have like photos out and about in public. So maybe getting like dressing up kind of decently and then getting professional photos done of me in locations. But yeah, ultimately you want like the artsy photos. So you want someone to kind of like just take a photo that looks like it could go on like a billboard or something. And then whatever they come out like, that is what I would probably use. But yeah, if you can try and incorporate something that has like your hobbies in. Otherwise, definitely just go for like artsy photos. If you have photos of you just like just looking like you're exploring London, then yeah, it doesn't tend to, from what I've noticed, it doesn't tend to sell it a bit more. Women can certainly get away with it for their photos because it just makes them look cute. If they're standing next to like a telephone box or something in London, holding a phone. Which I don't know if you've been to Westminster. There's always a bloody queue there for one of the telephone boxes, and it just makes me laugh. Just literally people are queuing because they want to just have a photo next to a red telephone box, even though they're all scattered everywhere. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, as long as you're somewhat strategic with like artsy photos, anything will work. I don't think there's really a right or wrong. But if you can get ones of you with like hobbies or things that you've got an interest in. So like for me, maybe I would have a photo of me maybe in like a bookshop reading reading like well actually I'm reading Marcus Aurelius's book Meditations at the moment. I've only just started reading it, but maybe I'd have like a photo of me in a bookshop, like close up, and I'm holding it, and it says Meditations on the cover. So then, people can see it and they'll go, "Oh, okay. Well, he's into his philosophies. He likes to read. He likes meditations and stuff like that." So that's kind of me waffling on with it, but yeah, hopefully that makes sense. That's what I'd probably consider. What is this live for? It's just a chill stream. So I'm a life coach. I help people with like their social anxiety, and I just wanted to do a very easygoing stream with people. Although I didn't realize that I have been going for about 50 minutes. So I'll do the plug for my coaching. So the Black Friday offer has got about 27 hours left to go, where I'm offering my 7 day coaching program, which would normally be £1,800, is now going for £1,000. And I've also introduced a new service, which is my 6 week transformation program, which is 2 hours of coaching a week, going out and doing cold approaching. That would be priced at £1,200, and I've put that at a price also for £1,000 for Black Friday, and you can claim these discounts over the next 24 hours if you sign up for a consultation. So if you book in a consultation with me, that kind of like locks in that discount, and obviously you then would have, after the consultation call, I'll request that you pay a deposit to properly lock in that discounted price. But the best thing that I'm offering with the coaching offers is that then you can claim that coaching at any point in 2026. So I'm fully booked for work up until Christmas. So there's no way I'm going to be doing anything this year. But these offers are then claimable for 2026. So you can then have 7 day coaching for £1,000, or 6 weeks of 2 hours coaching a week for also £1,000. And the 7 day coaching has been really good. In fact, I'm going to try and get a testimonial from the guy that I worked with last week, because he had a really, really good session, or good week of a session. But with how the 7 day works is days 1 and 2, so Monday and Tuesday. Um, I'll read that in just a moment, Dean. So days 1 and 2, or Monday and Tuesday, is the filming and feedback. So we go out together. I film you for 4 hours doing cold approaching. I will also help you with it. I will give you coaching. But the idea is that you just get as many approaches as possible. So then I can go home, I can review that footage, and then on Tuesday, we can sit together, watch it together, and I can give you feedback on your body language, linguistics, and conversation skills. And what that does, and I find it's really great doing it at the start of the week, because then it gives us things to work on as the rest of the week goes on. So then so Wednesday to Sunday, every single day is then 3 hours of cold approach coaching. So we can then work on your bad habits, your mannerisms, and it just means then I can kind of nudge you on track and get your results that bit faster. And the seeing your own videos perspective thing works wonders with people. It's like an out of body experience. But things really hit home more when you watch your bad habits and your mannerisms yourself, rather than me or any other coach saying, like, I don't like this, you need to change that, whatever. Having your footage is great, and it's for your eyes only as well. So that footage isn't going anywhere, it's just for you. So if you are interested in getting a huge discount on my coaching for Black Friday, then definitely go onto the Calendly link on my website, or if you go to the posts on my YouTube, you'll see that I've been kind of like quite repeatedly and repetitively putting out the adverts for the discounts and the offers, and also my Calendly link as well. So you can actually sign up for that as well if you're interested. And then of course we can have a discussion about it, and then see if we're right with to work together, and and if you want to go ahead with the coaching or not. But at least for the new year, you'll have plenty of time to book holidays or book time off, or sort out your schedule to squeeze in that practice and the experience with getting the approaches in. And usually on average, people get between about 60 to 100 approaches in over the week from working with me. So it's really good fun, and I make it as enjoyable as I possibly can. I have all sorts of exercises to help you with your anxiety, and every guy is different, and I like that. I like that then my coaching is incredibly bespoke. What works for one person doesn't work for another, but I tailor the experience to you, and we work on things, and I build you up as fast as I can. So if you're committed to it, then definitely have a look at my services, and claim the Black Friday offers. So thanks again. I like Leek Street, the graffiti tunnel on South Bank. I think I know. I think I might know what you're talking about there. As the artwork is always fresh, but I don't know if it's been overdone. For example, I remember every Tinder profile a few years back, almost every woman had the same pic with the angel wings. Yeah, I agree with that. I've even noticed on some of like um, the questions that you can have on the profile as well. The amount that I have seen just repeatedly makes me wonder if they're also going either on websites to get advice, or maybe they've read it in a magazine. Like, these are the top rated questions to put on your profile to get a reaction from men or something. So yeah, women I don't think are as creative as we would hope they would be. I think it's only on their photos, that if they have like really cute photos or them posing, that yeah, they just win guys over anyway. Tell you what, it's really annoying that I can't play music. I would love to play music, but I don't want to get any copyright strikes on this. That's better. Just me sitting here staring at the screen. You can see more people are jumping in. Welcome to the chill stream. We've been talking about dating apps. We've been talking about anxiety. And I also mentioned about my Black Friday offer, which, if you want to see that and you are interested in it, there's only about 26, 27 hours left to claim what is essentially either nearly half price off of my 7 day coaching, or about 20% off of my new 6 week coaching program that I have that I've done it in memory of Johnny, actually, because that was like his flagship coaching program with people, and it was just absolutely amazing. I remember I did it twice at the time. We're going back to like 2013 and 14, but yeah, it was an amazing experience. And so I've decided to somewhat replicate the concept of it, but have my own coaching in there instead. So if you're interested, definitely go onto the posts on my YouTube channel and have a look at the offers there, and you will see. And if you're interested, then don't be afraid to book in a consultation call with me, especially if you want to save yourself some money. And it's fully claimable for any time in the new year, in 2026. I would say for this year or for this month, but I'm already booked up until till Christmas, so there's no chance that I'm going to be able to do any more coaching, and nothing's going to be open, or things aren't going to be happening in London after Christmas anyway. So, oh, that was a good scratch. So we'll see if we get any more questions, any more thoughts shared. Don't think I've missed anything. No. But yeah, art backgrounds or graffiti walls are actually really good. I think there's also a graffiti wall in by Shoreditch High Street station as well. There's kind of like a tunnel when you come out of the station and you go right. That's actually also a really good place, but I think it's a bit dark there. But I think if you probably go during the day or if you get a photographer that has lighting, that's actually a pretty sweet spot to get photos. Or even those it's not putt golf, but there's like these golfing experiences that you can go to. It's like miniature golf basically. But I've seen this ones where they're like all fluorescent, they're all lit up. Um, that's probably a pretty cool one as well. But yeah, artsy photos, you get them on your profile. I think that wins you points with women. I think the moment women see some like fancy photo and it's like you sitting in a Lamborghini, I think they just like roll their eyes, or you just attract the wrong kind of women. And I think if you're gonna have professional photos done, you've got to make sure that you do something that's as close to your personality as possible. Because you know, like with any branding, you put the wrong kind of branding out, you're just going to attract the wrong kind of people, and that's not what you want. So we've got a few more people who've jumped into the stream. Welcome, new people. Welcome to the chill stream, where no music is being played for copyright reasons. Um, but yeah, don't be afraid to say hi if you want to. My laptop keeps turning off as well. Welcome, Car Car. So I've had Car Car and Kit Kat. Okay, I've got more people jumping in. Welcome to the chill stream. I can just imagine like people who are just coming across my channel. It's just me literally sitting here rocking in my chair, and they're like, "What on earth is this Muppet like talking about? What is this channel?" Well, if the name of my channel hasn't um, explained itself to you, I'm a life coach and I particularly help people with social anxiety. And if the other bit isn't obvious already, my name is Dan as well. So that's why I've got that Danxiety guy. And I've worked behind the scenes in the dating industry for nearly 17 years. And I've seen it all, I've heard it all when it comes to social anxiety. And I've worked with so many people on it to just help them with building their confidence using the skill of something called cold approaching. which is essentially just the ability to go and strike a conversation with a complete stranger. It's all it is. Even though it sounds like incredibly technical or fancy, it's not. It's just the ability just to talk to strangers. And I find it's just such a great way to offer desensitization and exposure therapy to people who have a lot of social anxiety. And it just sort of fast tracks them to overcoming all of their fears and phobias and just helping them to build their confidence. So I love it. It's great fun. I enjoy it very much. I've also just noticed that this color of my jumper is like the same as my walls nearly. So it's almost like being a floating head. If it wasn't for this like grid pattern on it. Am I gonna get anyone else jumping in for a chat or anything? Otherwise maybe we'll wrap it. So we've been going for about an hour. If no one else wants to jump in. Because I can kind of respect that you're giving me your undivided attention. Um, but maybe you might want to be watching Stranger Things on Netflix or doing something just as interesting than just watching a bald man sitting here talking about his philosophies of life. So we'll see if if anyone else chimes in. If not, we shall see. What's my opinion on looks maxing? Uh, I've heard the term before, but I must admit I don't know what it is. So can you give me the definition of it, or do I need to, or do you want me to Google it? Yeah, Google it. Okay, right. Let me just have a look. 'Cause I got my phone on my laptop. Okay, so looks maxing. Looks max. Oh yeah, let's do. Whoops. Let's just do that. Right. So let's see. This says. Okay. So looks maxing is a term for maximizing one's physical appearance through various methods, from basic grooming and fitness to more extreme measures like cosmetic procedures. Well, as someone who had a hair transplant and that was 5 years ago, and then decided that it just I didn't want to stress out over my hair anymore, because although I had the hair transplant that basically did like that front bit of my head, my crown was still balding. But the thing with looks maxing, I I agree with it and disagree with it. Um, so I agree, if you're overweight, if you're if your hair's messy, you've not got a style, and you're not really grooming, you haven't got good hygiene or anything like that, then you're not going to fit into society, and you've got to at least be considered or part of the social norm. to be just considered attractive to people. So you have to do something. And even with like fashion, like you don't need to be, wearing a suit and, and looking like that you own a yacht or something out in France. But you need to just dress well. And but what it does come down to, and this is where I probably disagree with like the looks max thing, is that it comes down to your confidence and how you feel within your own skin. It's creating a vibe for the women that you're then spending time with. And, and if you feel good in your own body, at the very least, that will, you know, get you attraction. Like I've known plenty of guys who just aren't good looking. They're very average dressed, but their confidence, their mindset about themselves and how optimistic they are in life just makes them incredibly attractive because of their charisma um and just optimism overall. But I mean, yeah, you've got to, if you then, on top of that, you can do things just to make you look good. Like, I mean, just have a bit more of a definition on your body, or just have a physique that looks like that you're taking care of yourself. You don't have to have like massive chiseled arms or anything like that. But just have something that also looks well groomed. I think is just absolutely fine. I mean, I liked having hair. I won't deny, like I in a way I kind of miss it, but so many people have said just how much better my head looks from it being shaven, and even when I've grown a beard out a little bit, it just looks, I think, a lot more masculine. And in fact, I've noticed even from women as well, that I dated since like the start of the year, from when I had hair and didn't have hair, that actually I've had probably just as good, if not maybe better, impressions from women, like ones who checked me out, just because it looks so much more well groomed, especially when I've shaved it. I mean, it's sort of slightly stubbly at the moment, but yeah, I think looks maxing is fine, but I wouldn't get. I don't think guys should get too obsessed with it. If it helps you with building your confidence, then sure, but there also needs to be this fine line, or not even fine line, there needs to be a line of where you feel like you're going to be happy. Because otherwise, um, I think there's an element of body dysmorphia there, where you get the obsession with just constantly trying to improve yourself, and you're never just happy with whatever you get. You could then look 10 out of 10, but you'll still be like, oh, I need to look better. I need to do this and this. And I've also watched good looking guys completely go over the edge with it. I've known people who were really good looking, and then they've started going into like having steroids and testosterone shots and stuff, and they've like completely ruined their body, and they look anorexically thin, all because they thought, oh, this is going to help me to, get more women and stuff. So there's a dark side to the addiction to, I think, this kind of term, but it is about just being comfortable in your own skin. And, if you need to make changes, if you need to do things, but being realistic with it and being sensible with it, then yeah, I think it is something that then people should consider. But yeah, you got to be happy with your own body though as well. Uh, I've had some S&P hair tattoo sessions, but it was too recent to know how well it changed my life. Have you done a video on your life before and after your transplant? Yeah, in fact, if you have a look on my other YouTube channel, Camera Dan, so I've got like a picture of like me as a cartoon superhero sort of flying over London. I've got videos of me when I had the hair transplant, and then I've got another video of talking about it a year later. And at the start of the video, because I took a photo every single day. Excuse me, I've actually got like that as a video at the start of this longer video. So it was quite cool. So you just see like over 12 months how my hair grew, and how it sort of like thickened out, which was amazing. And that was about like 4 or 5 years ago, that I had the transplant. And then I think it was earlier this year when I shaved my head on this channel. I made a video because I was essentially having a consultation call with a guy who was telling me about his social anxiety. Move that back there. And I told him about the insecurity with my bald patch on my head, and how whenever I was going on dates or if I was sleeping with women, I felt very insecure about my bald patch, which is just the most absurd thing really to be saying out loud. But I got to a point where I was like, well, you know what, I need to lose this attachment to my head, and I decided to shave it off. And and in regards to this coaching call or consultation call that I had, then I said to him like, well, look, my insecurity is this bald patch, and you know what, I can either just leave it or I can give myself solutions to the problem, and one of which was to shave it. Another would have been to get another hair transplant, but then weighing up the options because I've already had surgery on the sides. It's quite, you won't be able to see it in the video, but it is sort of slightly scarred on the sides and back. And I didn't want to make it even thinner because if that doesn't go well, there's no guarantee when you have a hair transplant. But if that doesn't go well filling the crown, then now I'm going to have it sort of patchy on the top, patchy at the front, and it's going to be more scarred on the sides and back. So it's there's a risk with trying to essentially, well, I suppose I was looks maxing. I wanted to keep my hair. I thought and felt that I was more youthful if I kept my hair, but the reality is actually I was just trying to like hold on to something that I should have just been okay to let go. And since letting it go, I feel so much better in my own skin. And you know what? That has certainly rippled into how women see me because I'm just so much happier. I'm just so much more outgoing and sociable that it's, yeah, they feel that. They just feel that vibe. So it's funny because I've even seen people say online like, oh, can you attract, can guys who are bald attract women, or can guys with hair attract women? And you just look at it and you go, what absolute nonsense of a question. And in a way kind of sad that if people believe like, oh, you can't get a girlfriend if you haven't got any hair, actually just shows like how lost some people might be. Not lost as in like they're no hope, but just like lost as in like whatever kind of like not mind control, but like what's the word I'm looking for? Brainwash. That whatever kind of like brainwashing they've had has just really taught them to just they how unhappy they are in their own skin, and how little hope they have. But again, the reality is you just put yourself out there. As long as you feel good and get and build yourself up to feeling good, you'll be fine. And if you can dress well, makes a great first impression, as I said earlier. And if you can do anything else that makes you look even better, more attractive, go for it. But do it within reason though. Don't overdo it. Don't get addicted to it because, like with all things in self development, nothing teaches you when or where the end goal is, when to be happy. It's just very easy just to keep going. Like I must change this. I must learn that, and so on. But get to a point where you're just happy, you're just content, you're like, you know what, I'm enough. It's a really powerful statement to make. I'm enough. I'm happy where I am. And you know what? And when you get there, yeah, everything else usually falls into place. And I think as well, I might have to end it there because I've just had a notification on my phone that my battery on my phone is running low, and I haven't got any set up to actually plug in the cable here. So I hope, yeah, I hope that answered your question, Dean. And I enjoy doing this chill stream of sorts as well. I will try and do it more often. I can feel I'm a little bit tired anyway. It was very spontaneous me wanting to do the stream today. I was going to make videos and then I forgot to actually charge the batteries for my camera, so I couldn't do anything. So I was like, right, I'm going to do a live stream. I'm going to do that. But no, I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I've had some chats with a few of you guys on here. So definitely, yeah, stay tuned for or hopefully I can speak to you guys again in other live streams as well. And I guess finally, if you want to have a look at my Black Friday offers, they're roughly about what 26 hours left before the offers end. So just have a look at the posts on my YouTube channel. If you go to like the posts tab, you'll see I very repetitively put the offers there with like a countdown like each day. So yeah, claim them whilst you can. I genuinely believe they're an absolute bargain. And I've got 17 years experience of working in this industry, of being around cold approaching, being around dating coaches and pickup coaches, working with them, working with my own clients. That I know what I'm doing. I know how to help people, and yeah, and if you need the help, then yeah, hopefully we can work together in the new year. Right, I can feel that I am tired now though. So we will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll do another one of these streams again very soon.